friends. This video is about the national emergency which was proclaimed by the then Prime Minister of India, Srimati Indira Gandhi, in the night of June 25th, 1975. Note that India had entered into one of the darkest phases in its democratic journey, which lasted for 21 months, that is up to 21st March 1977. What had happened during the emergency period is this: the press freedom had been curtailed and put into censorship on each and every issue. The civil liberties of the people have been largely curtailed, and the dissent voices by the opposition have been curtailed to a greater extent. The New Indian Express, in its editorial dated yesterday, in these words: the emergency was not merely a political crisis, it was a stress test for institutions. Parliament yielded more than it should have. Sections of the judiciary failed to cover themselves a glory. Much of the bureaucracy learned that compliance was safer than conviction. Parts of the media surrendered their voices. Ordinary citizens, meanwhile, learned their rights are being vulnerable when they are assumed to be permanent. This was the very editorial being written by none other than the New Indian Express, which was suffered during the emergency period. And moreover, even the Prime Minister of India described this event. The emergency was a direct assault on our institution. It witnessed the suspension of civil liberties, restriction on freedom of expression, the arrest of political leaders, journalists, and social workers, and an attack on institutions that form the bedrock of our democracy. This was the very wordings given by the Honorable Prime Minister of India. But what things are going on in India at present juncture is quite opposite to what has been expected from the people. It is an undeclared democracy, undeclared emergency. But our concern is freedom of the press is given under this present regime is currently classified as in the very serious conditions which India ranks, reaching 151st out of 180 countries in the World Press Freedom Index. The Press Freedom Index has shown that 151st position out of 180 countries is a great shock to the Indian democracy, though it is not under emergency, but in undeclared emergency only these sorts of the press freedom would be known to the entirety of the world. What is our question is that the Prime Minister of India is speaking a lot about the civil liberties, freedom of the press and whatnot. Our question is that the press, even print and electronic media, have been largely controlled by Anil Ambani, Adani, groups of networks, and even the government of India is putting restrictions on digital platforms and curtailing many social platform medias which have been exposing the governments to a larger extent. Our concern is this: in India, in 2026, the journalist, the freedom of press, and the opposition camp should be given ample opportunities to express their dissent voices against the government of failures, so as to address the concerns of secularism, socialism, social justice, and unemployment crisis that have been waging in the country to a greater extent. Definitely, if these things, unemployment, poverty, have not been addressed by the government of India, definitely the country would face a great danger. This is the message of this video. Thank you so much.